Hey guys, before we get to the video, for more tips and tricks in the heating and air industry, please click that subscribe button. Thank you.
Hey guys, Josh for Griffin Air, serving the Middle Peninsula and the northern neck of Virginia, and wanted to do a video because I get one question more than any other question, it seems like. I get this question on my Facebook and my videos and everywhere, and that is, what is the best brand? Who's good, who's not? And one common trend that you'll see across our industry is most heating and air guys can just about all agree that the brand matters less than who installs it. So the installation or who installs it matters more than what brand you select. Of course, we all have our preferences. We may disagree on who's the best, but ultimately we can all agree that usually the installer matters more than the brand that they install. And so the question becomes, I've actually gotten this question, what does that mean? What does it mean to have a bad installer versus a good installer? And that's what this video is going to cover. In fact, if you found this video, we're going to do a series of videos where we're going to talk about bad installations, bad installers, and some examples that you as the homeowner can sniff out and find if you're getting a good installation or not. So check out this video, but check out the whole entire series. And our goal is to arm you, to help you figure out if you're getting a good installation or not. Stay tuned.
Hey guys, so in this video, we're going to talk about electrical issues. So when that system's being installed, yeah, it's an appliance, but it's not like any other appliance. It's not one of those things that you can go to a store and just plug it in when you get home. There's more to it than that. And because of that, when we're talking about electrical connections, they are a huge deal. We see problems all the time when they're installed. Some of those problems have to do with improper connections. We'll see folks putting, say, like 2 wires under a lug that only should get 1 wire. The wires might not be the same size, so one of them's not making a good connection. So in other words, think about it like this, like my 2 fingers, if one's a larger diameter than the other one, when you tighten down that lug, this finger's not getting super tight. We see that sometimes. We also see breakers not sized properly, whether they're too big or too small. They're not sized for the system that they're supplying. And that also goes for fuse sizes. If you have a fused disconnect, and sometimes we see folks put fuses that are too big or too small. Another thing with electrical connections is water. So if it's in a certain location, it has to meet certain codes. It has to be liquid tight, or it has to be a certain type of connector. We'll see installers cutting corners on that all the time. We'll see disconnects sometime that don't break the power, and they just use the disconnect box as a junction box. They'll bring the wires into it and connect them and come back out. And you might say, well, what's the big deal with that? If a professional comes up and pulls the disconnect, they now think that they've broken power. And you might argue, well, shouldn't they check the power before they start working on the equipment? Absolutely. It's just a huge safety issue, and it's not a very good practice. We'll see all kinds of sloppiness. We'll see wires not strapped properly. They're just kind of hanging there in crawl spaces and attics. We'll see low voltage wiring that just kind of looks like they just threw it together, and there's no rhyme or reason. There's nobody taking a moment and to just clean everything up, use a zip tie, making sure everything looks nice and is not sloppy. Another thing is sometimes installers don't think ahead. They'll have wires up against other things that they shouldn't be. We've seen high voltage wiring up against a hot flue vent, or up against things that vibrate or could actually wear through the sheathing. Getting back to the locations, there are different ratings on different types of cables. So some cables are not designed to go underground or be exposed to the sunlight, and they just throw caution to the wind and just install it. And the last thing I'll say about electrical connections is folks doing things that they're not licensed to do. So here in Virginia, I can only speak about Virginia on this, I'm allowed to to connect to my equipment from a form of disconnect or something like that, but I'm not allowed to pull wires from the panel if I'm not a licensed electrician. And we see folks doing things all the time. We have campgrounds around us that they're just breaking rules all the time because they're in a campground and they use that as an excuse to not pull permits and to do things properly. And you might say, well, it's not a house, maybe they shouldn't have to pull a permit, but there's still codes, there's still safety issues, and you want to make sure everything is on the up and up. You want to make sure the folks that are doing work that are licensed to do what they're doing and also insured, so that way they're protecting you. Hope that helps. Thanks for watching. The last thing I'll say is if you're in the market for a new heating and air system and you're in Virginia and the Middle Peninsula or the Northern Neck, give Griffin Air a call. We'll give you a free estimate and the best warranty in the area. But if you're not in our coverage area, check out my new website. I've even got a little banner up here, newhvacguide.com. Check out that site because we've put so much information on there. It's as if I wrote a book telling folks, hey, here's the good and the bad. Avoid this or that. I've even got a whole page called no-nos, things to stay away from. And so before you spend thousands, check out that website. And finally, for more tips and tricks in the heating and air industry, click that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.